Hello, Christian. Thank you very much for your time being here to talk about peace. Now, before we get started, could you please introduce yourself? Tell us who you are.
I'm Christian Walti. I'm a pastor to the Reformed Church in the city of Bern in Switzerland. I live and work in the southwestern part of the city, where there's my church, or the church of my parish, which is named Friedenskirche, the Church of Peace. And there is also nearby a big center which is called House of Religions, which is a place where like all major world religions try to live together and have their worship spaces in the same building.
Oh, very nice. So
that's where I work.
You work alongside Jewish, Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists all together in one building.
That's right.
That sounds like a perfect place. So
it's an interesting place.
And Christian, do you, as a pastor of the Reformed Church, do you believe peace is possible?
I believe peace is possible. I'm experiencing peace every day. Peace is a word, and if you mean something by it, it's something that most people would say it's something that they experience when they are calm and quiet, and they feel themselves, their bodies, their emotions very strongly. So that's what most people would say is peace. And also when they are in a, let's say, good environment, good community with other people. And if you mean peace by that, if you think this is peace, I would say peace is possible, very much.
And would you say peace is possible for the whole world? So we'll call it world peace. Would you say this is possible?
I would say yes. I would say it is the best possibility that you could aim towards. So it's the best thing that you could try to realize for the whole world.
Sounds like there's a big but there.
There is a but always. Let's say, to me, if many people have hesitations towards peace, because it also makes, there is like a comfortable part of it, which makes you feel good. And there is also an uncomfortable part to it, which many people, including myself, sometimes you feel uncomfortable with it. That's when you have to look towards things that in your everyday routine are not in the first priority. So most people in their everyday life, they say, like, my first priority is I want to finish this job, or I want to get this done, or I want to sleep, or I want to enjoy my meal, or you have your small goals. And if you want to attain peace, if you want to really be into peace, you have to put this priority further down and take other priorities up. And this is kind of a uncomfortable moment, because you have to reflect yourself. You have to say, oh, probably this isn't the most important thing that I do right now. I should do something which is more connected to myself than just finishing this job, or just finishing, I don't know, this meal or whatever. So I have to look to something.
Okay. So me as an everyday person, what would I have to do, or what would I have to change? What would I have to prioritize, in your opinion, for me to be part of the movement of world peace?
First, you have to prioritize what is right now. I think this is probably something that all my colleagues from the other religions, they would agree. So the most important thing is this moment right now. This moment. Here, now. So, because here and now, it's something that is closer to yourself than you are. Maybe this is it's kind of hard to it's kind of hard to think about it or to theorize about it, but it's very simple. Most religions, including Christianity or Reformed Christianity that I know, we have techniques and practices that try to enable us to just be in the moment right now. So we call it prayer, others they call it meditation or whatever. It's doesn't don't look for the word, just look for what we are trying to do. So when I pray, I'm first I try to close my eyes. This is not because it's not because I want to neglect what is around me. I just want to focus on smaller things which are closer to myself. So, for example, my feelings, my senses, my emotions. So I close my eyes. Some people, including myself, we fold the hands. This means I don't have to do anything right now. My hands are okay. It doesn't mean I am I'm submitting to something. It's just I just don't want to do something right now. I just want to be calm. And then probably you will feel something which is quite close to yourself. So, and you're right here. And then probably your mind will try to figure out other things to think about. But then you realize, okay, this is a thought, but where I am right now is different from that thought. So I'm right here. I'm right now. And we Christians, we think that in this moment, there's like a small gap where you are in direct connection to God. Or at least you realize that you are in direct connection to God because probably we are in direct connection with God right now. Probably we don't realize it because we think about this interview or we think about what we try to explain, but probably this connection is there all the time. But this moment you realize it.
So when you're exactly here and now, when you can stop doing things with your hands, when you close your eyes so you don't have distractions from the other influences that you see, and then you can block out those thoughts, and you know, okay, now I'm here and now. That is also the moment when you're in contact with God.
Yes, and to me, this is an experience of a possible experience of peace. The the thing that is difficult about it is that this moment will pass very very quickly. You will open your eyes or something will pop up and you will be out of it very soon. And that's why we call this is just a practice. It's not. I mean, it's not something that at least but some monks would do it very long for a very long time. But me as a pastor, I have a everyday life. I have kids, a wife. You will be out of it very soon. But what makes sense about it is that you will try to make this a habit of yourself that you carry around, and sometimes, and it happens quite often, I think, you will realize that these gaps or these small moments there are somewhere else as well, and they are not only with yourself when you're all by yourself, but it's also when you're encountering someone, or when you are in a group of people, or what I like one of the strongest places where I experience it in my work as a pastor is when I encounter new people that I didn't know before, because there is this moment when you encounter someone, but first you think, oh, this person is so and so, or this is a tall man, or he's fat, or you will have these conceptions about another person. And then you will encounter him. Maybe you will start a conversation or you will, I don't know, interact in some way. And then there is a moment where you have a connection with the other person. I strongly believe that there is this moment happens somewhen. I mean, sometimes you have to wait for months or have to have several encounters, but I think that there will be this moment because both of you are human. Both of you have this inner feelings and this connection to God. So there will be a moment where you realize this person is connected to me. We belong together in some way, strange way. And there you have the peace again. You're not by yourself. You're in a encounter and you have it again. And I also believe that you can have it with a congregation or with a group of people when you have a party with friends, for example. I mean, parties can be boring and distracting and awful, but you can also experience strange sense of harmony with other people. It happens sometimes. Or when I am outside with my kids and they do something or whatever, there is a small moment you will realize this is peace. So that's why I believe peace is possible. And I would also say it would be great if we become like peace, wie sagt man, Jäger und Sammler in German, yeah? Peace catch hunters and gatherers of these moments, because maybe you cannot experience them all the time, but they will become part of your identity, your stories, your memories. You will tell other people about this, and it will enhance these moments, will make them stronger. And just imagine that everybody will do that at the same time. I think that's the definition of world peace.
Okay, so when everybody, the definition. So for you, the definition of world peace is when everybody is hunting the moments of peace, the moments of connection with God, and collecting these moments constantly. Yeah. So everybody's constantly living in now. Then we have world peace.
Yes, probably we have it right now because it doesn't take much. It doesn't take any big efforts. Let's say. I mean, of course you have to do something. Of course you can also take action. It doesn't mean you have to be still all the time, or you have to be calm, or I don't know, sedated by some I don't know, a transcendent state. But you can also be very active. But in this moment, when you feel the connection, and the others, they feel it too. I mean, there it is. Then you cannot perform or do anything which is setting you apart from the whole picture. Even though you are an individual, you're very singular. You're very, very special. Of course, everybody's very special, but everybody is very much connected to all the other specials.
Yeah. So if it's that simple, why do you have an explanation for why it doesn't happen? Or why aren't we in that state? If it's so simple, do you have an explanation why that doesn't happen?
I'm not sure if it doesn't happen.
Well,
I'm not.
Okay. Well, if we have world peace, will there still be wars? Will there still be refugees? Will there still be conflicts? Is this something that we accepting conflicts? Is that part of peace? Or when we are all in peace, when we're all conscious, will we still have conflicts?
No, we won't. And of course, these conflicts, they are real. When people are suffering, this is real, for sure. But even though this is pretty philosophical. I'm not really sure. I know many people that are suffering right now, and probably there are people that even suffer more when you are in a war zone, or you're experiencing awful things, which I cannot imagine. Maybe this is something else. I don't want to judge or label this in any way, but I think the suffering itself doesn't make peace impossible. I think what I experience, for example, with elderly people that are that are dying, or that are they have a chronic illness, and they are dying very slowly, and they suffer a lot. They have lots of pain, real physical pain, pain that I cannot imagine. But sometimes, even with them, they could say that they are at peace, even though they are experiencing very strong pain. Because I don't think that pain is necessary, or pain or suffering is necessarily the contrary of peace. Necessarily that way. So this, to me, it means like, even I had an encounter with a guy who grew up in the occupied Sarajevo during the 90s. We visited them last year, and he told us that he had a happy childhood and youth. I mean, can you imagine that? He had a happy childhood and youth during the occupation. Because he said he was shot at several times. He said he was starving for weeks. He saw very close friends being murdered or killed just nearby. But anyway, life was good because they had a very strong sense of experiencing the moment in which they lived. They just enjoyed the moments, very very small moments, like 5 minutes a day, where they had a small TV running by a generator, which they had to turn on by just curbling or with their hands, you know. So it's strange, and it's very strange. This guy, I mean, probably you could say he's traumatized or he's crazy, but I kind of believed him. He said that during wartime, I mean, it was hard, but it was not. We were not unhappy. That's strange. I don't know. It's just maybe this is very theoretical because when you're suffering and when you have lots of pain, it's very hard. If I would go to someone and say, "Oh, please stop being angry at anything. Please experience your pain. You will be at peace." I mean, it doesn't work like that. But the contrary, I think there are people that accept it and have a way of dealing with their pain, which leaves them at peace.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
So
Yeah, thank you very much for that. So,
yeah.
yeah, wow, that's a whole new insight for me. Very nice. Thank you very much. So, before we go on, do you have any message for the world?
Oh, that's big. Let's say it like that. Um, never stop trying to find peace. Just try. It's not far away. Um, this is very interesting. I mean, in my religion, we always try to cite Jesus because Jesus is the guy. You know, it's not to say he's the best religious founder or whatever, but I mean, one of the simplest messages of Jesus was just try to live as the birds or as the flowers. You see, this is in the Sermon on the Mount. He says like, why don't you live like the birds in the sky? I mean, they're not cultivating any crops, or they don't have to gather any money or food or whatever. They just pick up what they get every day, and they live. And why don't you live like the flowers? Because the flowers, they don't make any plans or do anything. Uh, they just grow, and they are more beautiful than any human being can ever be. That's like the comparison that he does. I think this is a good message for the world.
Okay. Well, Christian, thank you very, very, very much for your time.
You're welcome.
It was beautiful to hear your opinions, and yeah, very, very much appreciate
Thanks.
your time very much. And
Thanks.
yeah, keep on being the person you are. Thank you.
Yeah, you too. I mean, it's great to have people interested in your opinion. That's also a way to make other people grow, right? So it's great what you're doing. Thank you.
Well, we've got to be flowers. We've got to grow.
Yeah, right.
Okay, thank you. Well, have a nice afternoon. Keep smiling, and yeah, it's all good. Thank you very much.
Thank you too.